What are your sales like this year? Are they up? Are they down? Is your business booming more than ever before? Are you taking advantage of all the challenges that you've been faced with? Or are you suffering from those challenges? I've got someone who started a new career in January of this year. We're talking about what he did to overcome those challenges and give you some great tips on how you can do it as well. So let's get into the show. Let's see. So we're talking about how you changed careers in January of this year.
Started with a new company, and don't call on former clients because of A, non-competes, and B, it's the right thing to do for a period of time. And then moving forward, so I'm working a book of business and getting to know folks and getting my name out there, working a territory that had been somewhat worked, and then COVID hits.
As an individual within a big building, any suggestions on what an individual can do?
Sure. So, what a lot of facilities have done is they've looked at their office spaces, and they've taken many of the daily tasks that occur on an individual's desk, and they have really given it to those individuals to handle the daily cleaning and disinfection of their immediate area, their desk, and everything that they touch on their own, because there is a certain amount of people questioning whether things are getting done. So if they're going to question whether it's getting done, it's just simply easier to have them disinfect it the way that they want it disinfected. What's been a challenge is finding people that are calm enough to have a conversation.
So speaking of sales.
Speaking of sales, yes, I was leading us there eventually. I'm sorry.
So it's been, this is great information. It's stuff that, because again, I think we've curbed our activities, our production facilities quite a bit since February. We're doing a lot more post-production. We're doing a lot more virtual. And we're not doing those one-on-one meetings anymore.
No, not at all.
I guess you're not as well. As far as finding a big client or a whale type client,
sure,
or even a minnow client who will be there consistently, how are you reaching out to those people now? Is it still traditional sales model, or is it a lot more online?
So, the phone is king, but so is online. The cold call at the moment is dead. Cold calling had a place pre-COVID because sometimes you would show up and you'd actually get the information you need from a willing person at the front desk. When COVID first hit, I was in an interesting position because I needed to build a book of business and I needed to dial the phone and talk to people about that. Whereas every sales guru out there was saying, whatever you do, don't cold call now, only talk to existing customers. Well, when you're in a contractual business and you're in sales, well, it's about finding more contracts. So it's not about, and I'm not sure how our ownership will like this phrase, but I've said this to them myself. It's not about closing the deal. It's about finding out where people have been, what they've been doing, listening with empathy, and figuring out how to solve their problems. And the sales will come. I have a tremendous sales funnel at this point where I have all kinds of proposals out there. I've closed proposals this year. And I expect to finish 2020 incredibly strong because I have listened to people and heard what their concerns are and not led with, yeah, we're a janitorial company, we can disinfect your facility. Nothing turns people off more than that at this point. You don't know what someone's going through. You don't know if they have a relative that's ill. You don't know if they have kids hanging around them because they're working from home. When you look at the various silos for cleaning, think about it. There's multi-tenant office buildings.
Yep.
There's commercial headquarters for Fortune 500 companies, and there's manufacturing facilities. Well, most office space that isn't connected to a manufacturing facility has everyone working virtually. So that's really not a target to pursue. everything has turned around the manufacturing facilities because they got their act together immediately so they could keep the supply line and the supply chain going for our country. As far as speaking with people and how to prospect in these times, I'm a huge fan of LinkedIn. Now, everyone, in the world isn't, but there is an opportunity that is going to be forthcoming where I reached out to on LinkedIn. I saw that I had 3 common connections with a chief, whether it's a chief executive officer, chief operating officer, a chief officer at one of the large companies in our country, matter of fact, international company, that if I said the name, everyone would say, oh yeah, I know them. I don't know anyone who has not heard of this company. And I went to connect with that person on LinkedIn. And I sent them a simple message that said, hey, name that I will not say at the moment, we have a few connections in common. Let's connect here on LinkedIn until we speak. And, I'm on LinkedIn every day, multiple times a day. And I saw a few days later that this individual had connected with me. So then I did something really radical. On LinkedIn, you can send videos to people as a greeting. So I sent this individual a video greeting, introducing myself and telling him flat out, well, you must have had a reason to connect with me. We provide janitorial services and disinfection services. I know you're not the person to talk to. Who should I talk to? Shockingly, I'll say it again, shockingly, within an hour, this individual gave me all the contact information for the person I needed to talk to. I then reached out to that person, name dropped how I'd gotten his information. And now we're part of a enormous RFP that will be forthcoming. And it's all because I reached out to a guy with an enormous title and an enormous company on LinkedIn. And so why did I do that? Well, what do I have to lose?
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Ignore me.
Yep. I saw the same concept in the movie or the play, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, where he basically walks into the elevator and he bumps into the president of the company. And the president says, don't talk to me, talk to this guy. So he turns around and goes over to the guy. He says, I just bumped into the president of the company and he told me to see you.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I did. Yeah. And it's paying dividends. And I think, people that are doing things the old way, or waiting for this to pass, they're going to be left behind. I mean, it's not one new way to do things. It is multiple new ways to do things. I've started posting videos. Yep. Every shot not taken is guaranteed to miss. Absolutely. That is absolutely true, Wes. I've started a daily stream in the afternoons called Litvak Leadership Live, where I'm interviewing people. Our positions are swapped. You'd be in the box I'm in, I'd be in the box you're in, and I'm interviewing people. You've actually been on my show. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
So now you're in the
Welcome to Litvak Leadership Live today.
So good. I think I was on your show.
You were
last week. So I will put a link in the description for that link as well. And again, you talk about personal ideas and what drives your guests. And I think one of your favorite questions, and I think I'll ask you this as well, is what is your least favorite cleaning activity in the house?
So my question is actually, what's your least favorite cleaning activity? Because I'm in a commercial cleaning company, not a household cleaning company. But since you asked me about the house, my least favorite cleaning activity is anything that requires pouring a large amount of grease or gravy into your kitchen garbage can. I have this irrational fear that although the grease or gravy has cooled down, that just because it's grease or gravy, it's going to melt the plastic in the can and everything will fall out of the can when I lift up the bag. Yeah,
that kind of reminds me of my first job. I used to work at Arby's, And one of the jobs there was every 2, 3, 4 weeks, we would empty the grease or the oil from the fry machine to put a new oil. And I think that was one of my jobs, was to pour out the oil. And you did definitely have to make sure it was cooled down.
Oh, yeah. That could be a huge safety hazard. Some people in sales hate dialing the phone. And the only thing that I have to say to you is, why are you in sales? There is almost nothing more I enjoy in sales other than dialing the phone and talking to people. The only thing I enjoy more than that is hearing someone say yes. Yes, I'll sign the contract. Yes, we want to hire you. Otherwise, I would love to dial the phone all day long, talk to people, and create prospects and bring them through the process. But you got to just do it. You're not going to have the perfect approach ever, because there's always going to be someone that's going to throw up some kind of objection that you may not think quickly on your feet how to answer. But I'm pontificating. Ask me something else.
Okay. So we're talking a little bit about traditional and digital sales and digital marketing. I'm actually the face of my company, so I'm kind of the work on your business, not in your business type. Although I enjoy doing this, which is working in my business and doing this. And so, how are you generating your leads? Is it through your Litvak Live leadership program, or is it through cold? I mean, actually, generating leads is more you sit back and people call you, as opposed to reaching out to people with a cold call and a direct outbound sales message.
Sure. So
our company's more inbound sales, where I put the message out there. I do these broadcasts. People learn who I am. I create personality in my my industry. Inspire. What's the word? Not inspiration. Influencer. Something like that. There you go. So. Sure. I made it almost 28 minutes without flubbing and jumbling my words, which is why I'm in marketing and not in sales. So the question was, how are you generating your leads? And is it through your social media, or is it through traditional marketing?
Yes, it is through everything and more. And as far as flubbing words go, I was in speech therapy until 4th grade. Went out of speech therapy in 5th grade, then went back into speech therapy through 8th grade. And I still stutter at times. And you know what? I don't care. I wear reading glasses. You know what? I don't care. I know, you have to have the confidence in what you are doing. And Bruce, you're great at what you do. So, okay, so you flub a word here and there. It's not the end of the universe. But where to find leads? So, there is no magic secret sauce to finding leads. Know what your service is, figure out who can use your service, and then decide, what size of individual who could use your service, the prospect, can you handle? I know someone who has a smaller janitorial company, and when they first started with their company, they were calling on places where they would clean a couple hours a night, 2-3 hours, or a couple hours a night, 2-3 days a week. In the roles that I've been in, and with the company I'm currently with, and matter of fact, with every company I've been with, we provide services that are 5 nights a week. We don't necessarily look for those locations that are 1 and 2 people. We're looking for larger facilities with 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 people every single night, 7 days a week if possible, 3 shifts. You need to have a mix, just like in any sales funnel, sales process, of your small business, your medium business, your large business, and your whales. And frankly, there's various resources. There's this thing called the internet that some people still refuse to embrace, to figure out, what companies one should be calling on. When you go out and you type something like you live in Cook County, No, you live in Lake County, right, Bruce?
Yep, just north of Cook County.
Okay, just north of Cook County. So someone could type, in Google, largest employers in Lake County. Well, I bet somewhere there is a list of the largest employers in Lake County. Well, look for those lists. Now, it may not have who you need to talk to,
Right.
but that's where you got to do more research. So there needs to be a balance between research and contacting, and research and contacting. You have to have enough research so you have enough people to contact. And then when you go to contact people, you need to dial the phone. You need to send emails to people. You need to connect with them on LinkedIn. I have recently started connecting with more people on Facebook. I've really, for years, kept Facebook separate, just for friends. Now I'd say probably maybe 20% of people that I am friends with on Facebook, I've never met and have no idea who they are, but they're friends of someone that I'm friends with. And ask people people should know what you do for a living. There's nothing wrong with asking people if they know someone at a certain company, or if they have any suggestions who you should be talking to, what businesses.
Yep.
And just networking is a lifestyle, and there's lots of avenues to do it.
And these days, there's no such thing as a cold call, because you can do your research before you make that call. They may not have heard of you, but you know about them, and if you follow them on social media, or you follow them just by Googling them, you can discover what they're doing, and you can lead with that, which, okay, I can see that you just did this. Congratulations on your work anniversary. Congratulations on your company anniversary.
When you connect with someone and then you suddenly get a LinkedIn message this long that talks about everything they can do for you, it's like, dude, take a deep breath. Why don't you let our relationship, our connection marinate a couple days? Are you so hard up for business that you connect with someone and you immediately jump on it like it's a piece of warm meat?
But
at least that's not my philosophical approach. So,
although I think one thing that I kind of lax at is that follow-up, which is someone gives you a referral. Although in that case, you do need to jump on it right away, right?
Right. When you get
gives you a referral and says, contact Joe about this. He's interested.
Yes.
In that case, you want to be there, Johnny, on the spot.
Absolutely. That is altogether different. That is a referral. That's an introduction. When you are connecting with someone for the first time, a complete stranger on LinkedIn, and you've sent them a note that says, hey, let's connect, and then they accept it. In my opinion, but this is, depending upon if they send me a message back after they've connected with me and I've invited them to connect and they send me a message, then I might tell them what I do. But they should already know what I do because they've looked at my LinkedIn profile. If they just are connecting with me, I'll wait an appropriate amount of time before I send them a message telling them what I do, and looking at their company if I'm interested in working with them, and if not them, someone else. There's nothing wrong with asking for that, but I think to do it immediately cheapens what one does.
So that's another concept about building an audience and building leads, is to create value out there for them to follow you and get to know you and build that relationship. Although on social media, people usually tend to have it a one-way communications.
Right.
That's kind of old school, like with television and radio.
Right.
Where you're the broadcaster and they're the audience. And now, especially here, we've got a live audience and we've got interaction with Brian and with Wes and with JR, where they're talking back to us, or they're carrying on a conversation.
Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of, if you're going to be on social media, you need to engage with people. Let's remember, it's not media, it's social media. So when you post something, and someone has a comment, you really need to either like it and then have a comment back, and even begin a dialogue that way. And as you're scrolling through your social media platform of choice, to just be hitting like all the time is, kind of like driving down the street and just waving at people. Engage with people. I have a friend that is a homesteader, and they are a couple months back, they were processing chickens, and and if you don't know what processing chickens is, Google it. They were processing chickens, and I typed on the picture, that looks like great fun. I'd love to learn how to do that. I lived in the country for 16 years, and we never did that. We had layers, not meat hens. Let me know when you're going to do it next. And they said, and they responded on social media, absolutely. And now they're having an event in a couple weekends where there's like 6 people who have said, yeah, I'd love to learn how to do this. And we're going to all go there and process chickens. And they have a YouTube channel. And I said, you should take video of us doing this, because I'm sure A, it'll be educational. B, stupid stuff is going to happen that'll be hysterical when you take a bunch of suburbanites to do this, and put it on your YouTube channel. And they were like, okay, that's a good idea. So you got to be social, because the virtual social leads to the physical social.
Yep. So where is the best place to find you on the interwebs, and how do they contact you about your cleaning service? Because you pretty much, your area is what, from the Great Lakes almost to the Gulf of Mexico, right down that.
Yeah, we're in the Midwest and the Southeast. There's lots of ways to contact me. First of all, you see my name, Sean Litvak, there. You can either find me on LinkedIn as Sean Litvak. You can find me on Facebook as Sean Litvak. You can find, with no spaces, obviously, on both of those. You can find me on Twitter as Sean Litvak. You can send me an email at my Gmail, which is, are you ready for this one? It's going to be real difficult. SeanLitvak@gmail.com. I would give you my business email address, but that is more involved, and I don't think anyone's going to write it down. So the best and easiest way to connect with me, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. Connect with me, send me a message, and I will respond promptly.
And actually, we'll put all that information in the description as well.
Sure, that sounds great.
So here's a great comment from JR. Thank you, Sean. Enjoyed insights and common sense approach shared.
Thank you, JR. We should connect and talk.
If you haven't connected with him, he is an ESW. So
maybe we have to look.
That is a secret code for emerging sales winners.
Absolutely.
So great. Thank you again. I shall see you today at 2 p.m. Central. That is 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Sean Litvak on
Litvak Leadership Live. Look for the Facebook link or look for the YouTube link. We'll be on at 3 p.m. And today my special guest is George Henderson, who is an expert in cyber security. So the question is, is he James Bond, or is he a geek sitting on a sofa using a tablet? Come join us at 3 o'clock and hear more about it and why you should be interested.
Great.